Welcome to the Clear in the Air podcast with D and Q.
I'm D.
And I'm Q. Hey man, it's been a minute, right?
No.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about why it's been a minute in a little bit.
Right.
But yo, it's July, and we know this is a heavy travel month, and we just want to talk about that today. Yo, you taking any trips this month?
I would like to, bro. I would like to take one this month, and I would like to definitely take one next month for my birthday. So I would like to do two this summer. And when I say trips, I mean like international, out the country. Definitely for August. July is a little toss-up, you know what I mean?
Right.
It makes might be like a little weekend getaway or something. But August will be like the big shebang. So, but yeah, I would like to, bro. But as we'll get into, it's a lot of things going on when it relates to travel. So.
For sure. I think one of the things is definitely safety.
For sure.
Yeah, and we've been talking about safety on the home front in and of itself, right? We know in the hood when the summertime comes, them bullets fly a lot more than what they normally do. It's crazy, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it ain't just that. It's the robins, the carjackings, the fights, and we hate to dwell on the negative.
For sure. But it's a reality.
It's a reality. When it get hot, people tend to act up because you outside.
That's true.
And it ain't just in the hood either.
It's not.
It's not just in the hood.
Nor was I implying that.
Right.
I just know I'm from the hood.
Right.
And then
we know how to get in something.
Right. And in the places where my family are or is, that's that. Right. So what are some of the things going on in terms of safety that you've heard about?
A lot of like kidnappings or people being reported missing. I just seen something in the Bahamas, which is actually one of my favorite getaway spots. I love the Bahamas, Baha Mar, Atlantis. A lady, I think she was like a yoga instructor or something. She was found missing. She went over there like her dream trip for like this yoga retreat, and hasn't been found, bro. And you always hear things, especially for women, bro. Just try to travel in packs and groups, this and that. Don't I know people like to just get up and go, but it's you gotta be smart. Please be safe out here. So I think that was the big thing, man. Some islands may have, the U.S. government be like, hey, it's a code, whatever. In this certain island, because they've had reported crime, robberies, kidnappings, things like that. So I think that was the big thing when it comes to like safety. Just being smart, being vigilant when you travel. Right. Try not to travel alone. If you're on a resort, try not to veer off too far from the resort. When you go to these places, you kind of want to see the island, see how the locals live, maybe, have some of the local food. Gotta be smart.
Yeah.
Got to be smart.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the weather part, but we'll get to that too.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is because I like to go places I haven't been, and you've been talking about international. So I think another thing to pay attention to is if there's war and stuff going on in countries, please stay away. Sure. And the reason why I had said what I said about things going on in the U.S., like home base, well, this is home base for us, but it's home base for other people who are having civil concerns, and you need to be aware of that when you choose places to travel to. So again, we're not trying to tell anybody what to do, but we want to see everybody safe, and we know that there are some safety concerns that exist in terms of travel. Since you went there, another thing to discuss is the safety in terms of weather. Okay? So we're in the DMV area, and I can tell you the last 2 to 3 weeks have been insane. Okay? Temperature-wise.
Yes.
So I manage a building where, we have landscaping. And literally, we had 1 week where the hydrangeas were good to go, thriving. man, I have people in the community saying how, you know, what happened, you know, and send me pictures. And that thing is just as brown when before they were nice and purple, like they looked like lavender and white, and now it's brown. And again, when we speak to, you know, the landscapers, well, it's the heat, and then when they come and they do their weekly checks, the soil is dry. Okay, I was looking at an article that had popped up on my phone as well that India was going through it, and they already have really high temperatures, but India was insane. You're talking about a lot of people that were passing, not just passing out, but passing away due to the heat. So we gotta pay attention to the weather. Just because where you are in and of itself might be, you know, a bit warm. So just imagine you're gonna typically wanna go to a place that's warm in climate, a place that, you know, is exotic, and hopefully you'll get that relief by going to a beach. But you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, man, so it's crazy because, you know, you was talking about how you want to build it. So with my house, I think I talked about it before. I really tried to redo my grass, get my grass to grow back again. I had a lot of trees around in the winter. When the leaves would fall, it pretty much just suffocated all my grass. I lost all my grass. So I got a bunch of trees cut. I spent a lot of money with that. Did a lot of money just getting my grounds reseeded and all that stuff. So I did it in the fall, then did it again in the spring. So my grass came back, man. It was looking good.
Yeah.
But now, bro, it's so hot. And I got away from watering it because I was gone.
Right.
Burnt all my grass up, man. And it's crazy because I thought it was just me, but it's like majority of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, even if you watering it like you should, that sun is just beating it up, bro, for the majority of the day, man.
Yeah.
So my grass still looks good, but it has those parts where like you can tell the sun just burnt it up from the heat, bro.
And that's frustrating, man, because you don't spend the money and all
Spent the money, and now I might have to do it again. Most likely, if I want it, you know, I need to just invest in a sprinkler system. That way, whether I'm there or
you
not,
have to, because then you can put it on a timer.
and whether I'm in town or not, it's going to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's good, I guess, to do it in the evening, because if you do it in the morning, it's just like they say, it's like putting hot water on it, because the water the sun is going to kind of beat it up.
So real quick, let me give you this. When we check with the landscapers, what they told me is that they do it at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Right.
Because in that way, you're not worrying about, and what the main thing you want is for the ground.
Right.
to be
It
wet.
soaks it. Right.
Right. And it's going to do what it does. So again, if you got it on that cycle,
Right.
just let it run.
Yeah.
So
I'm about to do some more cash. Gotta
Yeah.
get a sprinkler system, bro.
yeah.
But if I wanted to be consistent, and especially if I can't do it personally, then that's just what it's going to have to be, bro.
Well, speaking of more cash,
For sure.
I saw this on TV maybe about a week ago on the news, and they were talking about, and I forget which generation they were saying, but they were saying that you have generations that will call, well, let's not even classify that. That's what it was talking about, certain generations, but let's just talk about it in general, of how people will go in debt just to go on vacation, okay? Versus save in advance. And let's just be honest, with the economy being where it is, some people might not be able to save in advance.
Right.
And this is a whole nother conversation, but for the sake of mental health and for the sake of actually taking a break, folks probably are saying, I've got to get away. And if I work so hard like I do, I'm going to take the vacation I want. So that means you do have more people that will be susceptible to going into debt just to go on vacation. So let me ask you a question. Would you?
Have I ever, I won't say gone to debt, but have I maybe
Expensed it?
Right. I don't think so, bro. It might have been a time I may have charged it and I knew I was going to get like an interest rate or something on it. That's probably to the extent of it. But for the most part, you know, I always talk about my parents. They've always done a great job about teaching me how to be financially responsible. And so I would look with them. We would always take a vacation every year, and they would always take me even when I was younger. That's why I like to travel so much. But I always would see how they would save for our family vacation. So me personally, I don't think I have. There have been times maybe I might have charged something. Just you know, I don't want to wait till the last minute to get a flight, but maybe I didn't have the cash right then or something. So had to do something like that. But now I'm not gonna overextend myself on the trip. And you know, bro, just we don't travel so much now. You know how to maneuver, where to stay at, the best bargains, what to do, what not to do, where to go, what not to go, where not to go. But again, I like to have fun too. Like now it's a different game. Like now, you know, it's whatever. I don't really care about the cost. Like I just want to go and have fun.
I got you.
And then I think the big thing, bro, it was 3-4 years in the pandemic when we wasn't traveling or couldn't travel. So you should have been saving up then, right? So I don't, you know. But I know there are times when people kind of overextend themselves for a family vacation. And I mean, that's fine, bro, as long as you can, you know, deal with the repercussions of that. The interest rate, paying for stuff. You still paying on it, and the trip was 2-3 years ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was talking with one of my close friends. He wouldn't mind me telling this story, but his wife, she had a milestone birthday, and he had got this super nice like Airbnb, but it was one of the big beach houses right on the water, this and that. Invited all her family, invited all of us down. We was all there. But I just saw him last week. He was like, bro, I'm still paying for that. And that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And that was in the United States. That was just Myrtle Beach. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I get it, man. Some people, you know, feel like the sacrifice is worth it because of those memories, that trip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I went to Dubai, you know, we was over there for almost 2 weeks. And that will be a memorable trip. But that was crazy money. Crazy money. And real talk, you know, one of the people that we went with, you know, he like financed the majority of that. So it's, we just blessed, man. We were just blessed, very fortunate. You know, just, you know, some of those things I've been able to experience. And we'll talk about it because of who you know. You know what I mean? And so
I would, well, not your kids, but my kids are a recipient of who they know, which is why they're able to travel. Me.
For sure. Man, like I said, when growing up, my parents, thankfully, they always took me with them.
Right.
Always, bro.
Right.
Hawaii, Mexico, Cancun, you know, all these different cruises. I was exposed to that as a child.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of stuck with me, which is why I like to travel now.
For sure. I'm going to answer it in 2 ways. I'll tell the story last. So the first situation I mentioned is, would I go in that I have gone in that it has been put on a credit card. I guess
and let's further explain that. Like we not
and that's what I'm getting ready to do, because for me, there's the debt where you'll take a $10,000 trip because you're taking so many people, so many flights, where you're staying at. Then you have the debt of, I'm going to put it on a credit card because I know I need to, and if y'all pay attention, this is some tips right here, because I know I need to book it in advance so I can get those better rates, especially when we talk about airlines and stuff like that.
Possible upgrades.
So you want to book as soon as you can, and I think you just said it. So if I book now. So I like to call it short-term debt. If I take a credit card to maybe book the flights, which is probably the biggest part, take care of that. That might have the biggest expense, more than likely. Okay.
You want to get it in advance while it's the cheapest.
You want to get it in advance. And so I also will do things in pieces financially. So get the flight. Hopefully you can get that 6 months in advance. I think that's a good time. 3 to 6 months in advance I think is okay. So that's one thing. Then now it's a matter of, I book my lodging. Where am I going to stay? And that all depends on how many people you have, where you want to be in terms of location.
Do you want all inclusive?
Right. And one of the things I say is if you have 4 or more people, it might be a good thing to get an Airbnb or VRBO, whatever. It may be good to do that type of a situation. Okay?
Is it VRBO or Verbo?
I actually say Verbo.
That's what it said in the commercial, because I didn't know. I was like,
I actually say
they sound
Verbo.
like, okay, it is Verbo.
But just in case a person
Right.
doesn't understand, know what that means.
Right.
So I prefer that. But anyway, you just have to, however you're going to manage it, however you're going to do, again, in sections, if you can't do it all at once without going into that. Keep in mind also that if you had to, you could finance not necessarily hotel stays, but like your Airbnb and Verbo situations in 4. Sometimes you can split that up. Okay? So there's ways you can get, how do I say? There's ways you can be creative in how you spend without going into so much debt. Last situation I'll say before we close up is, and you have to plan for unexpected things that happen. That's why the safety thing is a big deal too. Because if you have terrorism or something that happens where you are, you're gonna have to pivot. I didn't have that, but
That happened.
well,
Not the terrorism, but like, didn't you have something? You went to PR or something, right?
so in Puerto Rico a few weeks ago, our flight on the way, Southwest thought it was a great idea to cancel the flight. Still don't know why they canceled it. Okay, that can happen really with anybody, though, any airline. And what happens is, once that took place, my wife and I had to shuffle. We had our 2 girls with us. So we ended up, again, spending money we didn't anticipate because we were there for an entire day. Now, we do anticipate getting our money back. Southwest, holla at your boy. But still, that's upfront cost we had to incur. Okay? So you have to think in those ways also, not just the trip you plan, but anything else that could happen. And the crazy way to end the story is that we went on Southwest, but when we tried to look otherwise, like entertained spirit,
Right.
Entertained
At this point,
spirit.
you're just trying to get home.
bro.
Trying to get home.
Got to get to work. It was a Sunday. Didn't have enough flights for all 4 of us. That was one thing. An American, $5,000 a ticket.
For all 4 of y'all?
$5,000 a ticket.
So they price gouge.
Price gouge.
So this real quick, this just happened to my homegirl. She was in Belize, supposed to be for a week. When she landed, like that weekend before, they was like, oh yeah, Wednesday it's gonna be a full evacuation because we're expecting a hurricane. So instead of her leaving Saturday, she had to leave out Wednesday looking for a flight. She said, I guess the airlines knew it, of course. The price guy, she couldn't find nothing under $2,000. For one way, bro. She ended up flying, she's in LA right now. She ended up flying back to LA. She's not even back in the DMV yet. Bro. And I mean, that's kind of what she do. Like, she got content kind of creator and travels a lot, do all this and that. And she was heated. I'm like, are they really doing this, bro? Really? Like, it should be a law against that. But that's just like with anything. When you need something and they know it's pop, like, remember during the pandemic with bleach and Clorox and all that stuff, they was price gouging that stuff. Disinfectant, Lysol.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's not cool at all.
Yeah, bro.
That's not cool at all.
It's not. Well, let's clear the air. I think one of the reasons we wanted to talk about this is because we're in the month of July. If not the heaviest, one of the heaviest months of the year where we will see people travel.
It's definitely the heaviest time of year.
Definitely. And so you have, people who are taking road trips. I've seen gas go up and down over the past couple of weeks.
For sure.
20 cents or more.
For sure.
Right? So you've got just the planning of it. You want to do stuff because kids are out of school. You don't want them just in the house the entire time. What's the type of kids we talking about? Latchkey kids.
Latchkey kids.
Like you
Latchkey kids.
Yes. So
and for people that may not know what that is,
yeah.
Latchkey kid is a kid that is pretty much at home while their parents are at work. It's kind of that. If it's outside of school, if it's during school, it's like that school dismissal to when the parent gets home. So that may be 2:30, 3 o'clock to sit, and they just home chilling. That's what a latchkey is. That's what a lot of after school programs try to prevent. They try to prevent latchkey kids because research shows that that is the time where kids get in the most trouble, right, because there's no supervision.
Right. And so, again, you've got all of that to factor in, but we also, in the excitement of wanting to travel, to encourage or discourage a few things. To encourage safety, by encouraging safety, that means you're not just into the excitement of a trip, but you're looking at all the things you need to pay attention to. And fathers, because we are responsible for our families, that's why that's a big deal to talk about that. It's a big deal in general, but as we being responsible for those around us, that's why it's a big deal. And also discourage someone going into debt, major debt, to go on a vacation. Like I said, that's why I kind of gave a couple of tips of different things that you can do in terms of preparing to travel. We're also aware that it's very hard in today's world and in the economy that we sit in for people to save in advance. People aren't able to save in advance for, tires and things like that you need to get to work. So it becomes very hard when you look at it for... Car maintenance is insane. Yeah, so just thinking about trying to prepare yourself for a vacation, something that you may do one time a year. I'm trying to save for the car maintenance. I'm trying to save for, a gift for Christmas, or I'm trying to save for
holidays.
Yeah, I'm trying to save.
Fairness, y'all had 2-3 years during the pandemic to save.
But
we wasn't traveling.
But jobs,
or shouldn't have been traveling.
But that was issues with jobs and stuff. So that's a whole nother conversation.
I know.
So again, these are all the things that you think about as a man that leads families or whatever. So we just want y'all to be safe. We don't want y'all to go into debt. We don't want to go into debt. But get out there and enjoy life. Whether you got to drive there, whether you get a chance to fly there, whether you are the recipient of family reunion blessing, being able to tag along with somebody. Let's get out there. Let's enjoy life because life is short. We out, y'all.
Peace.